Let's start your SketchUp tutorial for the lid low impact design with some of the more easy items. So one that would be super easy is a barrel. So let me just draw a barrel over here. And I've done a little bit of research. It's about 23 inches in diameter. And if you'll notice the little red button, the little red is looking to do a radius. See down here, it says radius. So I want my radius to be half of that. So I'll make it 12.5, something like that. And I'll make sure that I'm in inches. And I've also noticed that they're about 34, 35 inches tall. So I'll make it 35 inches. And that's about a 55-gallon rain barrel. And if you remember from previous experience, if I highlight that and make it a group, it's much easier to move around and copy. So now I'm going to move that so that it's sort of that spot right there, some endpoint is going to be on the face. See how it says on the face right there? Okay, so I want it to be on the face. And I think a good spot would be like somewhere right around there. I don't need to get too fancy about it. But that's where one's going to be. And then I think I want to copy that. So if I highlight it, remember if I press the move button and hold the control key down, I'm going to adjust my view a little bit here. Hold my control key down. I can also make sure that it says that it's on the face, there. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's probably, there we go. I didn't have my shift key down and I want it on the face. Okay. And I can look at it and go, yeah, that's close enough. It's good. I'm just going to point them out. This does not have to be a perfect design. I'm just going to point it out. So now I think I'll take that one and I'll copy it way over to there somewhere. And once it's over there, I can move it. Sometimes it's easier to do things in 2 steps. So there's my move command. And I've decided to put one near each corner because I just think that makes sense. And I don't know yet if 4 is really enough, but we can calculate that during class to see if it is or not. There we go. So I've got 4 rain barrels. So here's the idea. Make your rain barrel, make it a cylinder, something that looks kind of rain barrel size, and put some in. Make it a component. A group. Make it a group. Okay, so I got one thing in. That's kind of cool. Another thing that's really easy to make is an infiltration trench because all I really need to do, let's see if it'll even, is to draw some lines. I'm going to draw kind of like that. And then I'm going to draw along there and then I'll draw back. And that's going to be, you'll see, that'll be my, I want it to be on the face. There. And to make that an infiltration trench, all I need to do is give it a material that kind of looks like gravel. And I think I remember where the gravel was. That's in, now I'm not sure where it is. I think it's in landscaping. There's gravel, infiltration trench. And I can decide what the rest of this is going to be. Maybe I'm going to do this ground cover gravel, something like that. Looks okay. And then maybe I need whatever this is. That's not sure. I think it was this stuff. Maybe it was this stuff. There we go. So now I've got all of my colors in there. And my infiltration trench might go a little bit farther. So I can continue the drawing on and perpendicular to the edge, but on the face. And I can make that one have that same kind of gravel. I don't remember what I used. Did I use that? Looks kind of like it. There. And all I have to do is point to that and say it's an infiltration trench. I don't need the whole detail for it. That's what detail drawings are for. So now I've got two things. I've got rain barrels. I've got an infiltration trench. Another one that can be a little bit hard is the bump, the sheet flow diverter. So I'm going to kind of draw a line like that. And then I'm going to keep it going over to the other edge. But I drew it in two pieces. And then over here, because I've got this surface, I can make a, I think I want a 3-point arc. And to get my arc, I think I'm going to come from that end point. I'll come up in blue like 1.5 inch. But not very much. It doesn't need to be a big bump. There it is right there. And so I can draw my 3-point arc and I can make it a pretty low kind of bump like that. And then I may have to come back and draw my line to finish it up. There it goes. Now I've got a shape. I don't know what some of that extra stuff is. Just be careful and get rid of it if you need to. Ooh, too much. I'm not going to worry about that little thing there. Okay, so now remember that follow me command? I'm going to try to do a follow me along that. Here we go. It's okay if it's not perfect. Zoom out. That's sort of how I get that done. That's my sheet flow diverter. I don't know which one. I think I'm supposed to go along that line. And, you know, my ends aren't matching up perfectly, and that's okay. I'm getting the idea. I'm just going to point at it and say that that's what it is. I don't care if it goes off just a little bit. Okay. What I care about is that I've got an identifiable feature that I can point at to let a contractor know or a client know that I'm planning on putting in rain barrels, an infiltration trench, and a sheet flow diverter. Take all of this and get it down. Now I'm going to do another kind of sheet flow diverter right over here that I can do. And I can come over maybe 3 inches. Let me just draw. I'll draw down about 4 inches and over maybe 3 inches up. And that's kind of cool. And then from there, I can just draw straight across. And I'm making another kind of sheet flow diverter just to give you an idea that you can do these kind of things. Now what's really cool is I can press pull that down. Maybe, there we go, press pull it down. You see I have a little groove. Now what's important is I've got this idea that that's not going to stay a groove. It's going to be kind of like a channel with some sort of little lid on it. And I think what looks really cool is if I put this on it, see how it looks kind of like a graded surface across there. And so now you get the idea that I can have this thing in here and it can just drain out over here and then go down. Oh, a swale. That's what I need next. So I can put a couple of those on. That's another type of sheet flow diverter where I just drew. Sorry about that. I keep getting the pop-ups going. And I better save this pretty quick. I better do a save. I got something wrong, so I'll fix it now. And I need to save this as something else. Failed to save document. I'm going to save it as file. Save as. And this is going to be for this is my demo file. I had something that was off and it fixed it. So now look, I've got a sheet flow diverter that's going to put. See how this is kind of weird? That it's not looking right. Sometimes that happens because it really wants to be in perspective view. SketchUp is really made for a perspective view and where its cameras are and things like that. So that's what we want to do. Now see this weird little line here? If I don't like that, I can right click and I don't erase it because it's important, but I can hide it. And see how now my sheet flow diverter kind of pops out a little bit more. People understand, oh, that's a sheet flow diverter. Got it. Okay. And then I can do the same thing calling this one out too. So the last thing is I got water coming this way. I need a retention pond or a swale. And in one of them that I did, I made kind of a square one, but I'm going to make kind of a round one this time. I'm going to make a round one. And so I'm going to make it separately like I made this separately. I can erase that one now. And I'll make it maybe a 20-foot diameter. So a radius of 10, and I have to put the foot symbol in. There it goes. And then what I like to do when I do something like this is I'm going to do some offsets about 6 inches at a time. And I don't need a lot of these. That's like a foot difference. I'm going to do one more. So if this part is sort of like my low part, and this comes up 6 inches and 12 inches and 18 inches, I got an 18-inch deep swale. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to bring this one up. I'm going to have to, sometimes it really doesn't like to grab it. It escaped a few times there. There it goes. 18, and I got to do the inch symbol. And then 12 and the inch symbol. And then 6 and the inch symbol. So that's going to be my swale, which means that I need to make it a group also. Remember, whenever I make something like that, I want to make it into a group so that it's easier to work with. Now I can just go put this in place. Now, it'll be interesting. Where am I going to put it? I'm going to try to find some sort of a corner over here that will be on the edge. See how water will run down into that from this corner and kind of go into it a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So that's going to be my swale. Now, what's important is I've got some of this area here that I have to press pull away. I'm going to There it goes. There, I think now that I can delete. No, looks like, oh, I have to intersect edges. That's what I have to do. So I'm going to save this because this can go south in a hurry when I do this. There we go. Got it. Intersect. We'll see if this freaks it out. Nope, did it okay. Didn't find those spots for me. What I'm trying to do is get rid of this middle section here. It can be tough. Let me go to my top view. That. See, I'm having a hard time getting rid of that area there. I think what I'm going to need to do is bring it up just a little bit. So I'm going to need to move it upwards. Things get tough sometimes. The blue axis, I'll bring it up 6 inches for now. There we go. Now when I do my intersect faces, it should cut away that area for me. So let me do a highlight of those things, and I will intersect faces with the model. There it goes. Now I can get rid of that. There. Got it. And that shows where it is. And now I can move this back down if I want. I'm going to move in the blue direction, maybe 4 inches. There. That looks pretty good. Looks like water can just run right in. And of course, I can direct the water if I want. Okay. Now, what I really want to do with this thing is put plants in here because it's a swale. So it should be colored. So to color it, I have to undo that grouping. I have to explode it. And now I can put like rocks and gravel on stuff. Sometimes you have to get in and get little bits and pieces of it. So that looks like it's all full of rocks and gravel. Maybe there's some more to get. Little bits in here if you want to really get everything. Okay, and so there I go, and I'm going to save it again. Now the last little part is something new. I'm going to go into my 3D warehouse. I'll have to sign in. You'll have to make an account if you want to use the 3D warehouse. I don't care about that. I do care about that. I want to get rid of Microsoft Edge. There it is. And you can do this with your W number at apps.losrios.edu. So there I go, all set. And so I can find some plants. And I think what I want to do is find grass. All grass. And I'm going to look in models here. Models. There's some called tall grass, but remember I have to check it out to make sure it's not too big of a fall. 111 kilobytes. That's nothing. That's good. I'll put it right in here. And look, I can put some of these in here. And of course, now I can make some copies. And I've got something that's looking kind of like a swale. And I can go back and I can look for more tall grass. This is kind of nice looking grass. I wonder how much that is. 2 megabytes. That's kind of a lot, and it's got the person in it. Might be able to use that. Here's some more tall grass. Kind of oh, these look kind of nice. Let's see. 174 kilobytes. Still kind of big. See how big this is. 281 kilobytes. I'll take some of those. And so I'm making a vegetated swale. And I'm just doing the copy command. And you can do as much or as little as you want, but I'm going to warn you that you don't want it too big of a file. You want to keep it down. Now, I also like to have, I like boulders. Boulders are rocks. Rocks. There's rocks. Look at all these rocks. There's a nice pile of rocks. Rock. 1 megabyte, a little bit big. Maybe I don't want quite that much. That one's not too bad. I'm looking for some. Oh, look at that. That looks like a swale. That might be nice. 7 megabytes. Forget it. It's too big. Too big. So there's plenty that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and put in this one that it was kind of big. Well, that one might not be too bad. Where's 5 megabytes? That's too big. 1 megabyte. That's not huge, but it's not great. Play with it a little bit. Oh, look at that. And look at how nice that looks now. So that wasn't too bad of a thing. And I could even make a copy of that one. And move it into place. And it didn't have to look great. You could even put it up here so it's looking more like something that would be put in there, but it's a little too tall. It needs to get down onto the face. There we go. Now it's on the face. There we go. So that's kind of nice looking, actually. Not too bad. Can maybe move this one out. They can intersect and look. So that, now I've got a swale. So I can point at things now. Now, I set this up for you with scenes so that you can see it from different directions. You don't have to use these scenes, but they're there. And from this direction, you can see all 4 items. You can see the swale, the sheet flow diverter. This one needs to remove that line, not remove, hide and hide. Remember, in each scene, you have to do that. So I could call out the swale and the sheet flow diverter and the sheet flow diverter and the infiltration trench. And what I would do, I would actually have this slope from here to here just a little bit so it falls into this, and I would probably pipe it right over to my swale. And these I would do the same thing. These ones I would probably just let filter out here into something. But that's sort of what you can do. There's your skill set. So your skill set is make cylinders, primitives. That's kind of cool. And place them. Make a half circle and do a follow me. Always have to go back and hide this when you change scenes. Make just some sort of a little thing on the ground. Make this. If you want to hide that little bit, you can, so it looks like all one thing. And this one is using the 3D warehouse. Now, you don't have to. You can do it in other manners. There you go. So that is your SketchUp tutorial for week 9 to be able to complete your low impact design plan. You will have a few more things to do to annotate this, but you can annotate it in your submittal presentation rather than here if you feel like it. All right, there we go. That is your SketchUp tutorial.